Hi, everybody. Today we're going to begin a new unit in our grammar books. This is Unit 19. We're going to be talking about adjectives and adverbs. So get your books and go to page 260 in your book. That's the beginning of Unit 19. As usual, the new chapter begins with, or the new unit begins with a story and then questions that follow the story. And we are not going to read the story here. We never have time really to do that in class. And I know that these videos are long enough for you. But it is a good idea to go back after the lesson and look at the story and pick out, in this particular story, you're going to be picking out the adjectives and the adverbs. And I think after the lesson, you will have no problems with that. Okay, so in your grammar book on page 260, 261, and part of 262, that's all information about that story. We're going to begin with the grammar presentation on page 262. So let me share my screen with you, okay? Please have your books with you because the screen, as you know, when I share it, is not always clear. I say that all the time just to remind you. Okay, here we go. So this is the first page. We're going to go to, this is the story and the questions. We're going to go to the grammar presentation. Okay, you have all heard the words adjectives and adverbs, and we've even talked about them in class. So I know that you're familiar with these kinds of words. Both adjectives and adverbs are words that describe. Adjectives are words that describe noun, such as a person, a place, a thing. There are other words that are nouns as well. And adverbs are words that describe verbs, how something is done. So here's the grammar presentation. There is a lot of information when we talk about these specific points. So this is just a summary, okay? Adjectives describe nouns. So this one, they are quiet tenants. The word quiet is the adjective and it describes the tenants. What kind of tenants are they? They are quiet tenants. But look at this. This is an adverb. They talk quietly. Quietly, very similar word, but you notice it has an ly at the end. And we mentioned this in class that many times an adverb has an ly at the end, but not all the time. And not every word that has an ly is an adverb. I may have said adjective before, I'm sorry. They talk quietly. The word quietly is an adverb that tells you in what way they talk. Now you'll see up here there are two categories, two groups of adverbs. The adverbs of manner. The manner means in what way, how. So they talk quietly. How do they talk? In what way? They talk quietly. But look at the adverbs of degree. The adverbs of degree are adverbs, words that say to what extent, how much, for example. They're very quiet. How quiet are they? Very quiet, okay? They talk very quietly. And you'll notice that in the first one, they're very quiet. The word very is telling how quiet they are, but this is with the word they, so adjective, right? Noun. But here we're talking about the way they talk. They talk very quietly. So in this case, we have an adverb of degree. We have an adverb that is describing another adverb. And with adverbs, that can happen. An adverb can describe a verb. It describes another adjective or describes another adverb. We'll talk a little bit more about that later because I know that can be confusing. So here are some more examples. The house is nice. The word nice is an adjective describing the house. They decorated it nicely. And the word nicely, very similar, of course, has an ly at the end. It's an adverb describing in what way they decorated it. Okay. It's so nice. Here is an adverb that tells us how nice it is. And in this case, the adverb is describing an adjective because the adjective is describing, of course, the word it, which is a pronoun. They decorated it so nicely, and here the word so, same thing, adverb, but it's describing how nicely, to what degree, how nicely did they decorate the house, right? So this nicely is describing decorated, and this so is describing how much, okay? So nicely. Going back here, some more examples. It looks good. The word good is an adjective describing how it looks, describing how it looks. And she, this is going to be confusing because you're thinking that this is a verb, and it is, but this is a state of being verb, and we use an adjective after a state of being verb. And again, we're going to talk about that later, okay? She described it well. The word well is an adverb, and it's modifying the word describe. How did she describe it, in what way? She described it well. Over here, this looks really good. Here is an adverb of degree saying how good it is, how much. Okay, this looks really good. She described it really well. The word really is telling us how well she described. Okay, this is an adverb describing an adverb. Okay. And let's go to the next one. It's a fast elevator. The word fast is an adjective describing the elevator, what kind of elevator it is. It moves fast. This is an adverb. The word fast is an adverb. There's no ly at the end. You'll learn a little bit later that fast is the same whether it's an adverb or an adjective. And here we have another adverb. I'm not sure if you've ever heard this before. It's awfully fast. And the word awfully means a lot. It's awfully fast. Okay, we could substitute this. It's really fast. It's so fast. They're very similar in meaning. All right. It moves, and this is describing here an adjective. It moves awfully fast. And in this case, the word fast is an adverb. How fast does it move? Awfully fast, describing the word moves. Okay, I know. If we were in class, I would be using the board and I can give you lots of examples. And of course, you can ask me questions while we're doing the lesson to clear things up. We can't do that here. I'm sorry about that. But again, if you have any questions, you can always email me. I'm trying to do the Zoom meetings once a week. I have one planned for 1 o'clock today. I haven't gotten any responses. I hope that somebody is there, but we'll see. And that's the time, good time for you to ask me questions. So we have two kinds of adjectives too. Well, we have what we call participial adjectives. So these are adjectives that end in either ing or ed. For example, the apartment is interesting, or one couple is interested in the apartment, okay? This adjective, the adjectives that end in ing, they cause a feeling to happen. So, for example, the apartment is interesting. When you go to this apartment, when you see this apartment, it causes someone to be interested in it, okay? As opposed to this ed adjective, one couple is interested in the apartment, and this is how the people feel. They feel interested. If the apartment is interesting, it causes somebody to feel interested. We'll have more examples, and we'll talk about this more a little bit later too. This is more of a summary. It's an interesting one-bedroom apartment. Very similar sentence. They're just giving you some more information on the apartment. But again, the one-bedroom apartment is interesting. It is causing somebody to feel interested. The interested couple called again. This word here, of course, is describing couple. Okay, so these people are interested in this apartment because it was interesting and it caused them to be interested. Let's just look at the other ones because we'll have more explanation later. My neighbor is annoying. Okay, annoying is not good. When somebody's annoying, it bothers you. I'm annoyed by his loud music. Okay, so the neighbor causes the feeling of being annoyed. You don't like this. He's an annoying neighbor. Another annoyed tenant complained. Now this is going to seem like an awful lot to remember, and you know, I don't expect you to just remember this, even if you study it right away, because there's a lot of information here. But when we use adjectives before nouns, we have to put them in a certain order, okay? So this is showing us the order that we have to put the adjectives. First, there's opinion. So opinion are words that could be different for people. They have the word peaceful under opinion. They have the word interesting under opinion. Because some people might find something interesting, but other people may not think it's interesting. Some people might find a certain place peaceful, but other people may not find it peaceful. So opinions are different from person to person, okay? So we have opinion first, then size, then age, shape, color, origin. Origin means where it's from. Here they have Chinese. We're going to look at these sentences. Material, what it is made out of. Purpose, how do we use this and what way do we use this? A noun that is used as an adjective, and again, we'll go through these sentences, and then the noun at the end. Okay, so the noun, the thing that you're describing, is always at the end, unless it's after a to-be verb. So as we read the sentences, look where they are. A peaceful, little, residential area. The sentence doesn't have any of these in it, but you'll notice how the placement of the adverbs, of the adjectives are. Some interesting, young tenants. Your round, blue, Chinese vase. Again, as we look at the words, look where they're placed. Chinese is under origin, where it's from. Blue is under color. Round is under shape. The large, old, wooden, kitchen, table. So kitchen is under noun as adjective because kitchen is also a noun, right? But we're using this kitchen, which is usually a noun, we're using it as an adjective to show what kind of table. It's a kitchen table. It could be a dining room table. It could be a patio table. It could be a picnic table. All right? Okay, let's turn to page 263. And this is where the grammar notes are. So this is a lot of information. Okay. Adjectives and adverbs. I explained some of this to you as we were going along in the grammar presentation, but this will explain it more in depth, okay? And this is a great place for you to study. So it tells you that adjectives and adverbs describe or give information about other words. We use adjectives to describe nouns, people, places, or things. For example, look at the right side. They are safe streets, or the streets are safe. Both sentences mean exactly the same thing. But in the first one, they are safe streets. We have the adjective coming before the noun. And in the second one, we said the streets. We talked about the noun first that is being described, followed by the to-be verb. the streets are safe. So in this case, followed by a to be verb, the adjective will go on the end, okay? And the word safe is giving you information about the streets. It's describing the streets. What kind of streets are they? Adjectives, right? Describing nouns, which are people, places, or things. And we use adverbs to describe verbs, and I believe you already know that. The manager talks quietly, telling you how he talks. In what way does he talk? He talks quietly. We can also use adverbs to describe adjectives. He's extremely quiet. How quiet is he? To what degree? This is an adverb degree telling you how quiet he is. He's extremely quiet. So the word extremely means very, very quiet. Adverbs can also be used to describe other adverbs. He works very quietly. Okay, so the word quietly is an adverb that describes works, how he works, and the word very is an adverb that describes how much, how much, how quietly does he work. It's very quietly. Tells you here to be careful, use an adjective after a non-action verb. I mentioned this to you when we were looking at a sentence in the other part where they had the word look. So these words, such as be, so you know that's is, are, was, were, in past tense, to be verb. Look, seem, appear, smell, or taste. We do not use an adverb. This house looks beautiful. Okay. So this is a verb, okay? It's followed by an adjective because we cannot say the house looks beautifully. And I remember explaining this to you in class once. So for example, we have the word look. If we said, look outside, there is a beautiful bird on the tree. In that case, the word look is an action verb, okay? So in that case, you could use an adverb. You can say, look quickly. There is a beautiful bird outside. But in this case, the house looks beautiful. The house is not looking. The house does not have eyes to look. So in this case, this word means to appear, okay, which is also here. It appears beautiful. Let's go down to number 2. So we said that there were different kinds of adverbs, adverbs of manner, adverbs of degree. We're going to look at adverbs of manner. Adverbs of manner are used to describe action verbs. And here we go. Adverbs of manner describe or give information about action verbs. And they answer the question how, in what way. Look at this tiny conversation. How did they decorate the apartment? They decorated it beautifully. The word beautifully is telling you in what way they decorated the apartment. It tells you to form most adverbs of manner by adding ly to the adjective, not all, but most. Here is a word used as an adjective. I need a quick decision. Okay, so the word quick is an adjective. It's describing decision. But here we're going to add ly to it and turn it into an adverb. Please decide quickly. In this case, the word quickly is describing decide. Okay, in what way do you want me to decide? How do you want me to decide? I want you to decide quickly. Let's go to the next one. Some adverbs of manner also have a form without ly. The form is the same as the adjective. Okay, so the adverbs are slowly or slow, quickly or quick, loudly or loud, clearly or clear. I wish they had not put this in the book because it really is incorrect grammar without this. I think they put it here because it's a very informal way that Americans speak, but that doesn't really make it correct. I think it just makes it accepted now. And it will show you here. It tells you that the adverb form without the ly is less formal. Don't speak so loudly. It says it's more formal. It's actually correct. Don't speak so loud is less formal, but it's actually not grammatically correct. So this is what I'm going to tell you. If you did this, it would be accepted because so many American people do, but do not write like this. Okay, so if you were writing something, don't write, for example, he speaks very loud. Don't do that. It really is grammatically wrong. You would say, he speaks very loudly. Okay, they're just showing you that when Americans speak, they can be very informal, and this is what they do. It doesn't mean you have to do it. Down here it tells you to be careful because some adjectives also end in ly. We talked about that before, that not all words that end in ly are adverbs. So some adjectives also end in ly, and here are some examples. The word friendly, lonely, lovely, and silly. These are all adjectives that describe nouns. For example, it's a lovely apartment, okay? But they're adjectives, they're not adverbs. And it also tells you that some common adverbs of manner, the way you do something, are not formed by adding ly to adjectives. So the adverb form of good is well, and I don't remember if we spoke about this before in class, but I know I've spoken about this many times. So the word good is an adjective. You cannot add ly to this to make it goodly as an adverb. There's no such word. The adverb good is an adjective. Well, which means same thing, pretty much the same thing, unless you're using it for health, is the adverb form. So we would say he's a good building manager. The good, right? What kind of building manager is he? He's good. He manages the building well. Now this is talking about how he managed the building, so this is an adverb. Look at this. Early, fast, hard, late, and wrong have the same adjective and adverb forms. So these words are the same whether you're using them as an adjective or an adverb. She is a hard worker. What kind of a worker is she? It's describing, it's an adjective. She works hard, an adverb describing how she works, okay? But there are words that you've heard, for example, the word hard. There is a word hardly, but it's not the adverb form of hard. It's really a different word that just means almost not. There's hardly enough room for a bed. So there's almost not enough room for a bed. You may have heard this word before. And lately is another one, but lately is not the adverb form of late. The word lately actually means recently, in very recent times. We haven't seen any nice houses lately, meaning that just recently, we have not seen any nice houses. All right. So much here for you to study. I know there's just so much. Let's turn the page and hopefully we'll get through all this, okay? Now, we've just talked about adverbs of manner, how something is done, in what way is something done. And now we're going to talk about adverbs of degree. So adverbs of degree means how much. It makes it stronger or weaker. Adverbs of degree make adjectives or other adverbs and verbs stronger or weaker. Remember, we said that adverbs can describe verbs, adjectives, or even other adverbs. So let's look at this. They have a little chart here where 100% is the top and 0% is at the bottom. And they're showing you adverbs and what they mean. So when you use the adverbs absolutely, completely, totally, you're talking about 100%. For example, I absolutely love it here. Here's an adverb describing a love, describing a verb, I'm sorry, how much do you love it here? I absolutely love it here. I 100% love it here. Now, if you use the words awfully, terribly, to, really, so, very, extremely, they are very close to 100%. It looks here like they're putting it at maybe between 50 and 75, but I think that I don't agree with that. I would say these are closer to 100%, maybe 90%, 85% at the least. You can get the work awfully easily, okay? Meaning you can get the work easily, and awfully is very similar to the word very, very easily. You may not have heard this word before. You certainly don't have to use it, but it will probably be in exercises in your book, okay? And then they have pretty, quite, fairly. This pretty certainly does not mean like beautiful or nice looking. It is an adverb of degree showing you how much. And in this case, they're putting it, I don't know, they're putting it maybe 30%, 25%. We are pretty lucky to live here. I think it's more than 25 or 30%. I would say these words are more like 50%, okay? And not at all, which is 0%. And it's not at all expensive. So it's not expensive in any way, 0%, not at all, okay? And here in the usage note, it tells you that the words awfully and terribly can describe something good or bad. The apartment was awfully nice. The word awful means terrible, but when we use it as an adverb, awfully, it can describe something nice. The apartment was awfully nice. I'm looking for it there, okay. Or the landlord was awfully rude, okay. And this is bad, and this is good. Let's go to the next one. In informal conversation, and again, the key word here is informal, meaning casual. In informal conversation, we often use real instead of really before an adjective. The house is in a real good neighborhood. Or the house is in a really good neighborhood. This is correct. The house is in a really good neighborhood. You hear many people speak like this. The house is in a real good neighborhood. I'm sure because so many people do, it has now become accepted. But again, if you were going to be writing this in any kind of academic form, you would have to say the house is in a really good neighborhood, because really is describing to what degree is it good, okay? Not at all means totally not, 0%. I didn't like the apartment at all, not even a little bit. I totally didn't like it. And down here it tells you to notice the word order for not at all, meaning where do you put it? So after a verb, or a verb and an object like this, they didn't decorate at all. Here it is after a verb, okay? It's at the end. They didn't decorate at all. And you could also add the object in here. They didn't decorate the place at all. And at all is coming after the verb or after the verb and the adjective. This is again using not at all, after or before an adjective or another adverb. Let's look at the example. It wasn't nice at all, okay? So here they're putting at all after the adjective. Or with this one, you can actually say it wasn't at all nice. So here they have it before the adjective. It doesn't matter if you put it before or after the adjective. It says, be careful, not all adverbs of degree can go with verbs. Do not use extremely, very, pretty, awfully, terribly, fairly, or to before a verb. I absolutely love it. You can use the word absolutely before a verb. Love is a verb, but you cannot say I extremely love it. You cannot say I very love it. I pretty love it. Okay, you can't use any of these words before a verb. I totally agree with you. The word totally can be used before a verb, but you cannot say, I terribly agree with you. I very agree with you. I fairly agree with you. Okay, you can't do that. So keep that in mind. This is a very long unit, I know. And there's no reason why you can't begin the videos, watch them, but then when you get tired, when you don't feel when you don't feel that your attention is there 100%, just stop the video, rest a little bit, and then go back to it and just start where you left off. Okay. The next are participial verbs, adjectives. So these are the adjectives that we talked about that end in either ing or ed. And I was telling you that, well, let's just do it a little bit at a time. Okay. Participial adjectives come from verbs. Okay, here are some examples. This neighborhood amazes me. So when you see the word amazes, it's a verb, right? It's an amazing neighborhood. So amazes is a verb. And this is the same root word because you see amaze, okay, but it has an ing at the end. And now it becomes an adjective. It's an amazing neighborhood. I'm amazed. And in this case with the ed, this is an adjective. This word can also be a verb. He amazed me with his tricks, okay? But in this case, it's an adjective. I'm amazed. So we use the participial adjectives to describe feelings. And I explained this just a little bit when we did the other section. The ing form, like amazing, interesting, the ing form shows that someone or something causes a feeling. It makes someone have the feeling, okay? It causes it. So the house is disappointing. The house causes a feeling of disappointment. It makes someone feel disappointed. The ed form shows that someone has a feeling. I'm disappointed. I have a feeling of disappointment. Okay? So the ing at the end, an amazing, disappointing, interesting. These words cause someone to feel that. Those things. The ed at the end, I'm interested, I'm disappointed, I'm amazed. Those words are adjectives that mean that the person has that feeling. When you do your exercises, there are plenty of exercises to do in this particular unit. It should become clearer to you as well. Okay. And also the grammar book, your grammar books are registered, and that's where you take your tests. But you'll notice that they also have videos in that section. So when you go to myenglish.lab.com and you click on the grammar book, look for the videos. They have videos for all of these sections that may be helpful to you. All right, and this one is the word order with just one adjective. Okay, so when you have just one adjective, it's easy. I think you already know this. The adjective usually goes before the noun it describes. This is a beautiful house. Beautiful is the adjective describing the word house. But it can also go after a non-action verb such as the to be verb, the word look, seem, appear, smell, or taste. And we talked about these words before. This house looks beautiful. Okay, and these words we talked about look, but the same thing here, like with smell or taste. If I were to say, oh, I smell coffee, that is an action verb, okay? But if we say the coffee smells good, now it's a non-action verb because the coffee is not the one that is smelling, okay? The coffee can't do that. So these can be action verbs or non-action verbs. This house looks beautiful, not an action verb here because the house is not looking, okay? This means the house appears beautiful. All right, let's go to the next page. I know we have some more to do. Here we go. All right. Okay, so we're almost done. We're almost done. Don't get discouraged. This is the word order with several adjectives, and we touched upon this in the grammar presentation. This is where I told you if there are a lot of adjectives, they have to go in a certain order, okay? And this is the order here. I think it's easier for you to look at the other section, the grammar presentation, the way they have them in order, but these are also in order. Okay, so if adjectives belong to different categories, we usually follow this order. The categories are the opinion, the size, the age, the shape. That's what they mean, okay? So again, opinion first, words that show opinion first, followed by size, and then age, and then shape, and then color, origin, where something is from, material, what it is made of, purpose, what it is used for, and the noun, used as an adjective, like when we talk about the kitchen table, and then the noun. So the noun always goes at the end. Not every sentence, of course, is going to have all of these. I can't even imagine a sentence that has all of these. So depending on the words you use, for example, it's in a beautiful old residential neighborhood. Beautiful is opinion, so that's first. Because to some people, it might be beautiful, but to other people, maybe not. So remember that adjectives of opinion mean that people might have different thoughts about it, different opinions, what they think about it. And then it's followed by old, which is age. All right, so they don't have any size in there, but age goes next in this particular sentence. Residential is purpose. What is it used for? So residential means this is an area where people live. It's not a business area. It's a residential area. People live there. So there's no shape, there's no color, there's no origin, there's no material, but then we have purpose, and that's what this is, neighborhood. It's in a beautiful old residential neighborhood. Here's another one. I bought a nice black leather couch. I bought a nice, that's an opinion, because some people might say, oh, I don't think that's nice. Here's the color, black, and the material that it's made of, leather. And again, if you went back to here, you would see that nice is an opinion. There's no size, there's no age, there's no shape, but there is a color, that's next, black. There's no origin, but there's a material, which is leather. Okay, so it follows this. It does tell you that size adjectives, how big or small something is, are an exception. They don't always follow the rule. They often, but not always, go first in a series of adjectives. So you'll notice here, on the chart, it says that opinion goes first. But when we have size, small, large, medium, we can put it before opinion. You don't have to, because you'll notice in this sentence that the opinion goes first. So we could say it's a small, affordable, one-room apartment. The one room, see, the room is a noun, so it's a noun used as an adjective that goes before the noun. That's the last thing before the noun. It's a small, affordable, one-room apartment, or we can do like the chart says, it's an affordable opinion, small, one-room apartment. Doesn't matter with size if you put it first or if you put it second, okay? Now, this is concerning commas, and this is something for you. When you write, you have to think about it a little bit. We do not use commas between adjectives that belong to a different category. So, for example, I got a large round Mexican mirror. Large comes from the size category. Shape comes from, round comes from the shape category. Mexican comes from the origin category. So we have three different categories here. And because of that, we have to put them in a certain order. So there will be no commas, all right? However, for adjectives that belong to the same category, the order is not important. So here we have, she's a friendly, helpful, nice woman. Friendly, helpful, and nice. All of these words come from the opinion category. And you can put them in any order. You can say she's a friendly, helpful, nice woman, or you can say she's a helpful, friendly, nice woman, or you can say she's a nice, helpful, friendly woman. They're using all the same words, but in different order, because one is not more important than the other. And because they're the same category, so you can change the order of the words. When the adjectives come from the same category, then we need to put a comma between them, okay? And we're on the last one, folks. Don't give up. Word order with adverbs of manner or degree. Okay, so now we're talking about adverbs. Here we were talking about adjectives, and now we're talking about word order with adverbs of manner or degree. Remember, adverbs of manner mean in what way, how, and degree means to what extent, how much. It tells you that an adverb of manner usually goes after the verb it describes. The apartment rented quickly. Okay, how long did it take? To what degree? Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry. How did it, sorry about that. How did it rent? It rented quickly. Okay, it goes after the verb it describes. When the verb has an object, the adverb goes after the object. She decorated the house nicely. You would not say she decorated nicely the house. Okay, it goes after the object. It says, be careful. Do not put an adverb between the verb and the object. Can't do this. She decorated nicely the house. Here they put the adverb between the verb and the object. Okay, so you can't do that. It tells you that an adverb of degree usually goes right before the adjective, adverb, or verb it describes. Remember that an adverb can describe not only a verb, but an adjective or another adverb. And it's going to go right before that. It's an extremely nice house. Here's the adjective. How nice is it? Extremely. Okay, it's going before, the adverb's going before the adjective. They found it very quickly. Quickly is the adverb. And to the degree is very quickly. They really liked it. And again, here's the verb. To what extent they really liked it. That means very, very much. All right. I hope that the explanations helped you. This is something, of course, that you have to study, and you have to study a lot because there's so much information here. But here are some reference notes. So here are some pages in the book that will help you even further, and I recommend that you look at them. So there's a list of non-action verbs, okay, it tells you where to find them. Appendix 2 on page 454. This all tells you where to find these things. There's a list of adverbs of frequency, how often something happens. There's a list of participial adjectives, the ing, the ed, the adjectives that end in ing, ed. And then for the order of adjectives before a noun, even though you do have it here, but you can look at page 458 for more help. And then for spelling rules for adverbs ending in ly, because there are different spelling rules, whether they end in an e, you'll see all of those spelling rules on page 463. Okay. All right, so that's the explanation. And there are a lot of exercises to do here. I know this is probably a very long video, so I might just make another one with that. Let me see. All right. But again, you know, maybe I'll continue with the exercises, but if you're tired, just stop it and then go back to it later. But here is an exercise on page 266. It's called Apartment for Rent, 140 Grant Street, apartment 4B. And it tells you here to read this notice from a university bulletin board. Underline the adjectives and circle the adverbs. Then draw an arrow from the adjective or adverb to the word it is describing. So what you're doing here is, let's read it. Are you looking for a place to live? There are no adjectives or adverbs there. This amazing apartment is in a new building and has 2 large, comfortable bedrooms and a small, sunny kitchen. Okay, so as you can see, the word amazing is underlined because it's an adjective, and there's an arrow pointing to apartment because it's describing the apartment. Okay, let's look at this. So look at the nouns first, and then see, look at the nouns and verbs first, and then see if you have adjectives or adverbs that describe them. So here's the word building, right? Is there an adjective for this? There is. It's new. So you would underline new and put an arrow on building. And has 2 large, comfortable bedrooms. Bedrooms is the next noun that you see. Are there any words that describe bedrooms? Yeah, large, comfortable. So you would underline these and then put an arrow for bedrooms. And a small, sunny kitchen. Kitchen is your next noun. Let's look for words, adjectives that describe kitchen. Are there any? Yes, small, sunny. So you would underline small and sunny and put the arrow on kitchen. We'll do the next one because it's done for you and it's an adverb. The building is very quiet. Okay, now quiet is an adjective, right? But the word very is an adverb, and the word very is describing how quiet, to what degree. So in this case, you're going to circle the word very. Absolutely perfect for 2 serious students. Perfect in this case is an adjective, and it's describing building. It's going back here, okay? We'll do one more. It's near the campus on a peaceful street. Here's campus. There are no adjectives that describe it. That's a noun, but no adjectives to describe it. But the next noun, you have a street, and there is an adjective here that describes it, which is peaceful. So in this case, you put a line under it and an arrow for street, okay? You can do the rest of this for homework, and then we will check it. Adjective or adverbs. Here's your next exercise, exercise 2. Circle the correct words to complete Maggie's email to her brother. So in this exercise, you have a choice between an adjective or an adverb, okay, depending on what you're describing. I wasn't sure I'd like living in there's a noun after the city. So it's city, you have to use an adjective to describe the noun, so you would circle large. I wasn't sure I'd like living in a large city, but then you have a choice between real and really, but okay, let's skip these words, but I love it. Love is a verb. How much do you love it? You need to pick an adverb, so that would be really, but I really love it, okay? Do the rest of this also for homework. I'm giving you till Monday to do this, okay? And then I'll put the answers on. So I'm giving you a lot of time to do it. Let's go to the next one. Just describe these to you. Here's a photo of my house. What do you think? This is, one second, please. Let me get to the top of this. I'm trying to see I guess it's exercise 2. I can't really see it, but it must be exercise 2. So, but that means I can't see the directions. Hold on one second. Let me try to move this. All right, I can't. So let me just look at the book for a minute here. Well, I'll tell you what. It's easy to figure this out. All right, so this is a little paragraph about the apartment. He says, here's a photo of my house. What do you think? And again, just like the other exercise, you're going to pick the correct word, an adjective or an adverb. My apartment is on the 2nd floor. Now when he says it's here, he's referring to the apartment, which is a noun, right? And it would be the pronoun. It's really, you have to say great because you're describing a pronoun in this case that refers back to the noun. I'm satisfied. You can skip over these and just go to the next word. I'm satisfied with it. So he's going to describe satisfied, an adjective. How satisfied is he? You need an adverb. I'm totally satisfied with it. The other tenants are very. Now we're going to describe the tenants, which are people, which is a noun. So the other tenants are very nice. Okay. Finish this for homework as well. And We'll talk about the answers. I'm going to assign all of these exercises, and again, you have until Monday to finish these, and then I'll put the answers up, okay? Any questions on what you're doing here, just please ask me. Just send me an email. Exercise 3, adverbs before adjectives and other adverbs. This says, many different people went to see the apartment described in exercise 1. Complete their comments about the apartment. Use the correct form of the words in parentheses. And then it tells you for help, you can see Appendix 24 on page 463. This is for spelling, okay, before you put the ly. I am very interested. I think the apartment is. They give you 2 words. You have to put both of these words together. So here you have the word extreme. You have the word nice. This is an adjective. We're going to turn extreme into an adverb to show how nice, to what degree, and it becomes the apartment is extremely nice. Let's look at this one. I was expecting much bigger rooms. I was, then they have terrible, they have disappointed. Disappointed is an adjective. So this word's going to become an adverb that shows how disappointed, to what degree. You would say, I was terribly disappointed. If you go back and look at the spelling, you'll see that when you spell terribly, you're going to take the E out and you replace that with a Y, okay? All right, so do that as well. You might be thinking, oh, well, she, meaning the professor here, doesn't know if I do these exercises or not. And you're right, I don't know if you do these exercises or not. But I will tell you this, the exercises are what's really going to help you learn the lesson. So if you don't do the exercises, and especially in a lesson like this that is so long and so complicated, if you don't do the exercises, it's going to be very difficult for you to understand the lesson. So for yourselves, just do the exercises, do them to help yourselves. I will put the answers up, like I said, on Monday afternoon, okay? So make sure you get them done by then. Let's go to the next page. So we're on page 268 now, as soon as I turn this. There we go. 268, exercise 4 is part, oh my gosh. I'm getting tired. Participial adjectives, I'm sorry. I am getting tired. This is a long lesson. Okay, so this says Luis is talking to his friend Sylvie. Read their conversation, which is right here. Complete it with the correct participial adjective form, meaning you're going to either put ing or ed of the verbs in parentheses. Remember that if something is causing a feeling, is making someone feel a certain way, you need to put ing. If someone already has the feeling, that's just the way they feel, you need ed. So let's look at the first one. These apartment ads are really annoying, you notice the ing, because the ads are causing someone to feel this way. It's making them feel annoyed, so the ads are annoying. Just look at this one. Let's go to the next one. It says cozy and, now under here you have the word charm. Cozy and charming apartment. You need to put the ing here because the apartment is going to make you feel charmed. It's going to make you feel attracted to it, almost in a magical way. Why are you, annoy is the word, at that? I'm going to put ed here. Why are you annoyed at that? Because this is the way the person feels. So when you're picking whether you're going to put ing or ed at the end of the adjective, you have to ask yourself, well, is something causing this feeling? And in that case, you're going to use ing. Or does someone feel this way already? And then you'll put ed, okay? Let's do one more. Okay, let's do another example. I saw the place. It's tiny, not cozy. Tiny means very, very small. And I wasn't This is the way he felt or didn't feel. So you need ed. I wasn't charmed at all. In fact, I was pretty. This is the way he feels. So you're going to put ed. I was pretty disgusted. Okay, finish that exercise. Okay. See, I have the online version of the book, so I could actually click here and check the answers. Let's see how this works.
These apartment ads are really annoying. Just look at this one.
It says cozy and charming apartment.
Boy, that's great.
Why are you?
That's great, but you guys can't do that. Let me check something. Maybe when I give you the answers, can I do that with all of them? No, I guess not. Okay. I was going to say when I give you the answers, I can click on that and you can read your book, read your answers, and listen. But it looks like I can't do that with every one of these. So let's go back. Okay, so the next one, exercise 5, is on word order. And you have to put the words in the correct order to complete the entry form. You are going to probably have to go back to that list of what comes first, opinion, size, that whole list to do this. So I'm a fairly cheerful person. The noun always goes last, so we're going to put person last, okay? This is an adjective. That's going to go before the noun, and this cheerful person, and this fairly is an adverb showing you how cheerful, to what degree. I'm a fairly cheerful person most of the time. But I must say that yesterday, look for the noun first. That's going to go at the end, okay? So that's the last word, put it last, things, okay? You need a word that describes things, which is going to be an adjective, which is going to be upsetting things. How upsetting? Pretty upsetting. So I must say that yesterday some pretty upsetting things happened. This is, actually, this is not from that list of opinion, size, age, etc. Okay, this is just, they're only giving you 3 words, and they're giving you a noun, meaning noun, or verb, like reacted. Okay, apartment is a noun. Think about is verb. Okay, so they're either giving you noun or verb that you have to describe. Okay, and then you're going to be using adjectives in some cases, and also adverbs. Okay, let's do one here. The bus, they have late, arrived, really. So we're looking for a noun or a verb, and we don't have a noun, but we do have a verb, which is arrived. So the bus arrived, and now this is going to go first. Okay, the bus arrived late, but how late? Really late. The bus arrived really late. Okay, try to do the rest of that. Let's go to the next page. Here's the word order with several adjectives. So this is where you need to look at the chart that shows the order of the adjectives, opinion, size, etc. So we have I found a, the words are here. These are all adjectives. Well, these are not all adjectives. The noun is here too. So the noun is going to be last. I found a nice, comfortable apartment. You'll notice there's a comma between nice and comfortable. The reason for that is because both nice and comfortable come from the opinion category. And so that means they come from the same category. So you can put it in either order. You could say, I found a nice, comfortable apartment, or I found a comfortable, nice apartment. It doesn't matter. But because they come from the same category, you're going to put a comma between them. Okay, so I found a nice, comfortable apartment in this Then we have old house. Charming, pick out the noun, which is house. Okay, that's going to be at the end. The word old is age. The word charming is opinion. Remember, opinion goes first because you might think it's charming, but somebody else may not. So it would be in this charming old house. Okay. You are going to need that list that shows you in what order these go to finish the rest. So you're going to do that. And I think this is going to be your last one. And then editing. It says read reviews of school dormitories. Dormitories are where students live at colleges. Not all colleges have dormitories. Community colleges like ours, county colleges don't have dormitories, but four-year colleges do. It says there are 15 mistakes in the use of adjectives and adverbs. The first mistake is already corrected. Find and correct 14 more. So let's look at the first one. These are, it says rate your dorm. Tell us how you like your dorm, in other words, and they give it stars. This person, Jeff, gave it 3 stars where he lives, and he lives in the Northwood dorms. The Northwood dorms are pretty awesome. Here was the mistake. They put an LY here, but it should be an adjective. The Northwood dorms are pretty awesome. There they are, clean and modern, and they're a convenient walk to class and the dining hall. The halls get noisy terribly sometimes though. Where's the mistake? Okay, the adjective is noisy, and this is an adverb that describes how noisy. So this has to go before noisy. The halls get terribly noisy sometimes though. When I'm studying hardly for exams, so this is describing studying, it should be an adverb, but remember that the word hard does not have the ly ending to make it an adverb. It stays the same. So when I'm studying hard for exams, I have to go to the library. All right. You do the next 2, Cheryl and Tanya. And I'm pretty sure that's it. This is a listening exercise. I bet here we can just listen to it. We can just listen to this. Let's see. Listen to the couple's conversation. Did you guess the same adjectives and adverbs that they used? If not, write the adjectives and adverbs you hear in the conversation. So there is listening here. I think it's possible that in your grammar online part, there might be an audio for students. I know that I have that in mind, but I can never get to it. For some reason, it doesn't work. Let's just listen to this.
I found 4 apartments on Jan's list that I think we should take a look at.
Good. Tell me about them.
Well, they're all 2 bedrooms, and they all cost between $650 and $850 a month.
Great. That sounds pretty affordable. What's the first one like?
Let's see. The first one is described as a small, charming 2-bedroom in an old building. It's also very near public transportation. It doesn't say anything else about it.
Right.
I'm going to stop this here. You have plenty to do, and you have plenty of exercises, okay? So, all right, so that's it for that. And then the last thing I would want you to do, hold on one second here. Okay, not going to work bad. The last thing I would want you to do is the review, okay? Review Unit 19. This is the last thing. I always have you do the review. This is on page 275, and I won't put answers for this because you have the answers on page 479. But do this first and then check your answers, right? That's the only way it's going to help you. In the first part A, you're going to circle the correct words to complete the sentences. Okay, so it looks like you're going to circle either an adjective or an adverb. My neighbor is so, okay, we're talking about the neighbor and how she feels, so we need an adjective. My neighbor is so annoyed. Oh, actually, in this case, look, read the whole thing, because that will really tell you what you need. My neighbor is so annoyed, which means she feels that feeling, or my neighbor is annoying, meaning that the neighbor causes the feeling, and actually it's a he. He plays loud music all night long, so that means he, the neighbor, is causing someone to feel annoyed. He causes it, so he's annoying. My neighbor is so annoying. He plays loud music all night long. Here it says unscramble the words to complete the sentences. They give you the words here. Okay. Today I looked at, there's a noun here, so that's going to go last. Now you have to look at these two words. This is opinion, this is age. Opinion goes first. So I looked at an interesting old house. They have the N there because it could be a or N depending on what the next word is. So here you have today I looked at an interesting opinion old age house. Okay. You look at do the rest of these and you could use that little chart, the opinion, size, etc. chart to help you put these in order. And the last thing is find and correct 5 mistakes in this little paragraph. So just look for mistakes here, okay, in adjectives or adverbs. Okay, and when you're done, you can check your answers on 479 to see how you did. So that's the end of this lesson. I know it was very, very long. I know there was a lot of information as always, but it just seems like there's even more information in this lesson. You must study it, okay? Please, please do the exercises, even though I can't see them. And any questions you have, I'm always checking my email. I check that email probably, 15 times a day, if not more. So I'm always checking my email so that I can get right back to you if you have a question. Oh gosh, the Zoom meeting is starting, so I'm going to leave you. Okay, bye-bye. Let me stop.